So the best thing I ever did in my 20s without knowing at the time it was the best thing was waiting to date. I started dating seriously, meaning I was just going on dates with a lot of people when I was 25 years old.
If you're in your 40s or in your late 30s, how does dating feels like when you were in your 20s and when you were in your 30s? Is it that you prefer you started dating earlier in your 20s, or you prefer later on in your 20s before you start dating to have marriage goal in your head? Because normally when you're in your 21, 22, let me just say 21, right? People already expect you, family members, society already expects you to start dating, having a boyfriend, and have a marriage goal in your head. Like date because you want to get married to this person in your early 20s. So if you're in your 40s, how would you compare dating in your 20s and dating in your 30s? Which one did you enjoy most? I just want to ask people that are in their 40s. And what advice are you going to give women or ladies in their 20s that want to start dating or they are dating currently, and the ones in their 30s? Because I have a video of this lady saying that she did not start dating until she was 25. That is when she started dating for fun. Okay, before she got to 25, she was spending more time alone. She was getting to know herself, finding hobbies and all of that. And it really helped her because she said that you will never regret being single. Okay, and she's like, she enjoyed it more than she thinking that, okay, probably my early 20s, let me start dating and have a marriage goal in my head. Let me show you the video, then we'll come back and talk about it.
I'm 30 years old. This is the best thing that I unknowingly did in my 20s. So the best thing I ever did in my 20s without knowing at the time it was the best thing was waiting to date. I started dating seriously, meaning I was just going on dates with a lot of people when I was 25 years old. But prior to that, what I was doing was spending a lot of time alone. When I was in college, I spent a lot of time in my bedroom just by myself. And what I was doing was watching a lot of movies, reading a lot of books. I was also studying sociology at the time, so I was reading theory. But I also was having a lot of conversations with myself because most days I was the only person I was interacting with. So I'd have these conversations in my head, make myself laugh. And this time was so crucial for me because it made me realize that I am a person that I thought was worth knowing. I was dedicating myself to myself. And so the more I became comfortable with myself intellectually, also physically, then it was really very little issue to go out into the world and have other people experience me as a person as well. And I think this is one of the best and biggest reasons why dating was actually fun for me. When I finally decided to date, I did it because I was like, let me see what everyone is going on about. And it was more of an experience for me to get to know other people. I was never really dating to get married or be in a relationship or anything like that. And then when I finally entered relationships, I realized they were a lot of emotional labor. And so I felt like when I was in relationships, I didn't put up with a lot of things because I felt like I could have a good time by myself. I did not need this man there with me to have a good time. And so that's why I was very specific as well with the people that I actually called my boyfriend. I went on a lot of dates and I met really amazing people, but the men that I called boyfriend were maybe 3 or 4. And I think that this is actually crucial for a lot of young women. If you don't want to settle for the first person who comes, or if you don't have like a very strong awareness of what you like, then date around, see what you like, see what attracts you. It's a little bit insane to me that people are in relationships since they were in high school. And this is no judgment, but for me, the amount of changes that I went through at such a young age, and even still as a 30-year-old woman, I cannot imagine the emotional labor it takes to maintain a relationship for decades as a teenager. And I think that to a certain point, it inhibits growth for a lot of people, both men and women. Because I think at that age, a lot of people don't know how to be in relationships. Because I think a lot of people don't have this strong sense of knowing and self-awareness. And so that sort of breeds a lot of issues like jealousy. And so I really loved my 20s because I was having fun. I was exploring the world. I was meeting so many people in different capacities, on dates, at parties, platonically. And it was just such a fun time for me because I didn't have these sort of romantic attachments. I think that a lot of people sort of require a 20-year-old to have. I also think dating for marriage in your 20s is a little bit crazy. Because what I noticed too with a lot of people who maybe don't have a lot of life experience, who were maybe in relationships like from a very young age, a lot of them really feel like they missed out on a lot of things. And I think a lot of people don't want to admit it to themselves. But for me, I feel like I did so much that I don't feel like I missed out on anything in my 20s. Society sort of tells young women that they only have so much time. You only have your 20s, your 30s. There's so much time to do so much. Relationships are not everything. The experiences that you can create with your friends and other people that you love outside of romance is just priceless. And whenever I think about my 20s, the great majority of the best experiences I've ever had were with my friends. The funniest moments, the silliest moments. For me, it spread across such a great amount of people that I would never give this experience up for me to be in a relationship throughout my 20s. And so if you're a young woman in your 20s who wants to live life and you're not prioritizing a relationship, I'm telling you guys right now, it is the best thing that you'll ever do. You will not regret that. Because when you look at a lot of these like old women, talking about their regrets, almost always it has to do with a relationship, a marriage, a man. But no one ever regrets being single and living their life to the fullest.
If you got married early 20s, are you still married now? Probably you're in your 40s. Are you still married now? If you got married at the age of 20, 21 to 23, and you're in your 40s now, how would you say, or how is your marriage going? Would have preferred to wait or enjoy your 20s or the beginning of your 20s before deciding to settle down with a man, right? Or before deciding to be a mom? Because I believe that most women that got married in their early 20s, most of them have children because they actually got married early so that they can produce children fast and enjoy their 30s. So are you really enjoying your 30s? Because I do really hear when women say give birth to all you want to give birth to before you clock 30. As a woman, you must have given birth to all your children before you clock 30. Because once you clock 30, you're no longer fertile, you're no longer beautiful, you're no longer this, you're no longer that. They put that fear in younger girls. And so what is on our head is, oh, let me quickly get married and have all my children before I'm 30. So if you did all of that, now that in your 40s, are you feeling regret, or you wish you actually waited to your 30 before you start being in a relationship? I personally feel like dating in your early 20s is just, if you're dating for seriousness, you're wasting your time because you don't even know what you want at that point. Okay, you don't even know who you are, because I feel like you just finished your teenage years and now you're in your 20s. You want to feel like you're an adult, which you're not yet. Okay, you don't even know what you want in life. And I feel like no matter or whatever comes to you, you're just testing that, okay, this is how relationships supposed to be. You don't even know what relationship is supposed to be, especially if you're not educated about relationship. You're just like trying to understand yourself. And the thing is that most men always go for girls or younger girls that are in their early 20s so that they can easily catch them young. They'll catch them before they start having sense. They'll catch them before they start realizing their worth and make them feel like, oh, I'm just managing you, or you're not all that pretty, I'm just with you. Or they make them feel like, oh, you're not really the prize, I'm the prize, and all of that. You see men that are very wealthy, they like to marry girls or younger girls that are in their early 20s so that they can easily catch them young before they understand life, before they understand reality. So I feel like dating for marriage in your early 20s was actually a wrong advice they were telling young girls. Seriously, it's very wrong. I feel like the best time to start dating and having marriage in your mind, or dating, having a boyfriend that you want to get married to, should be in your late 20s. Should be probably in your 28, 29, because I feel like that is when you are understanding what life is. You understand what you want, because at first you need to know yourself first before you can know what you want, so that when they start giving you whatever you don't want, you can say, oh, I don't want this. You wouldn't know that in your early 20s. You only accept what is given to you because you feel like that is what is supposed to be. That is what you think is supposed to be because of the mentality and the way they were programmed where you were growing up from your younger age to teenage years and to your early 20s. You feel like that is how it's supposed to be. But I feel like once you've passed that 25, 26, 27, your brain is already getting a little bit more developed than you used to. So you'll be able to know that, okay, this is how I want my life to be. This is what I want. This is the things that I want to achieve. This is what I want in a man. So if you have, or a man comes to you that does not have those qualities that you need or do you want in a man, you can easily say no. But if you're in your early 20s, anyone that comes to you and just being nice to you, love bomb you a little, you're already carried away. That is why you see most women that get married at their early 20s and have children at their early 20s before they clock 25 or something, they are easily, they easily tell you they feel regretful. That's why I asked the question earlier. How are you now, like in your 40s? If you look back to when you were 20, would you still make that same decision? It's just few women that will tell you, yes, I'll make that same decision because probably I'll just say they were lucky, okay? But most men were not lucky, right? They always wish that they enjoyed their single years enough before they got married. Because most of the time, women forget themselves, women lose themselves in marriages. It takes a lot for you to know who you are again in a marriage so that you're not going to lose yourself, right? So most women will tell you, I wish I did not rush to get to have kids on time. I wish I did not rush my kids before I reached 30. I wish I enjoyed my single life. I wish I lived alone. Most women wish that they left their parents' place and went to rent an apartment for themselves alone. They wish they lived alone. They wish they spend quality time by themselves alone before being stuck in a relationship with a man or even having children, right? That's why sometimes I always pity teenage mom because I'm like, you're still young. You're still like your mom's baby. And now you're having another baby. It takes a lot for a teenage mom to survive. Like, it really takes a lot, especially if you're now with, or if you now got pregnant for somebody that was not, is not even going to take responsibility of the pregnancy, right? So I feel like dating in your early 20s is actually a fail for me. The best time to start dating is after 25. Okay? If you want to get married in your late 20s, early 30s, because there is still time. But the way they make you look like if you're 30, once you clock 30, that is the end of a woman. You can never do this. No man will ever look at you. You're no longer pretty. I want you guys to post picture. See, I saw a woman. There's a woman I keep seeing on my For You page on TikTok. She's in her 50s. You all, she's pretty. Her skin is beautiful. Her shape is, oh God, she's so pretty. I think she's about 52 or something. You will never know. You think she's in her 20s. When you're 30, when you're 40, when you're 50, even when you're 60, does not mean that you have to be very old and ugly just because you don't have a man or just because you've not given birth. All these are just fear they put in women that, okay, you know what? You have to rush and do everything before you clock 30. And I feel like they're saying it to women because they know that once you reach that age, you will know what you want and you will not do what they want you to do. Right? You will do it because you already have that sense that be like, I'm not going to do this way. I want to do it this way. So they always want to catch you young when once you've not started having sense. I'll put it that way. Once you've not started having sense, they always want to get you or get married on time, have your children on time. Don't worry, when you're in your 30s, you start going for parties, you enjoy yourself, you travel. And that's a lie. Because once you get married in your early 20s, you're still a mom. Most of those women that got married in their early 20s always want to have children back to back every year. You've already lost yourself. Imagine you having three children under 3 years. That's disaster. Okay, that's not easy, right? You're going, especially if you don't have help around. If you don't have help around, it's even very worse. You cannot walk. You can't do anything because you have three children under 3 years. How can you get yourself back? It takes a lot. It takes a lot for women to get themselves back. So them telling you that have them before you're 30, so when you get to your 30, you start enjoying life, will tell you that when you get to your 30, you enjoy life because the kids that you gave birth to, they're still young. They're barely 10 years old, right? They're still young, okay? So I just feel like it's one of those scam they sold to women or young girls. Date on time. You're already 18, you're already an adult, you can make your decision, start having boyfriends, and make sure that somebody want to get married to. They allow you to get married 21, 22, and yeah, once you're married, it's a gateway for you to start having children. Once you start having children, that is it, okay? And you still have a long way to go. You still have your 30s to get your life figured out. Some people got their life figured out in their 40s and they are pretty. You guys, have you seen 40 years old women? They are pretty. They don't even look 40. That's the crazy part. 30-year-old women don't even look 30 because the way they picture 30, the way they put 30, when I was still like in my 20s, maybe 20 or something, the way I see 30 years old, I expect me to be using walking stick. That is how they look at 30-year-old women. You're not gonna be fertile anymore. You're not gonna be pretty. Nobody's gonna look at you. It's a lie, guys. You're still gonna be pretty. I'm telling you, I wish I can get that video of a woman that is 52 years old. She looks so pretty. Like she's so pretty. Her skin is perfect compared to you that in your 20s that you want to rush and waste your time and not get to know who you are before you rush into a committed relationship that will last forever. Anyways, what is your take on this conversation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section respectfully. It's your girl Mariah David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.